So, how you doing, guys? My name is Mr. Rodriguez. Oh, I didn't. So, my name is Mr. Rodriguez. I was born and raised in Bridgeport. I went to Central High School. Anybody here go to Central High? All right, good. So, what we're going to talk about today is genius and identifying really what genius is, because I think a lot of people have a really limiting poor definition of what genius is and what genius can be. So, if you look at the sheet that I passed out to you guys, I got some quotes there about genius from various people. Honestly, who said them doesn't really matter because they're relevant. So, looking at the sheet, does anybody have a particular favorite on this quote, on any of these quotes, on any of these 6 quotes? Go ahead.
Number 6.
Yeah, okay. So, a man of genius makes no mistakes. His errors are portals to discover. That's a really good one. Good job, by the way. Because while none of these are wrong, this is my favorite because it reflects me mostly. Errors are part of success. I feel like people build up this idea of what a successful life is, and the successful life is just this kind of straight path. You know what I'm saying? You go to high school, you go to college, you get a career, you know, get a house, get married, or whatever it is you want to do. But that's not necessarily so. We're going to watch a couple videos, and we're going to talk about them. And a lot of them have to do with failure.
Excuse me, it's going to drive through kids for you. So this is Madeline. Renaya. Jennifer. Jaden. Victor.
So, when we talk about genius, a lot of people have this idea that to be a genius is kind of one of these things that's like up here, right? And most people are here, and that maybe 1 out of every 1,000 people gets up to like the genius level. But that's not actually true. And as a matter of fact, that's not even what the word means. The word genius is actually from Latin, and it means, the Latin root word is genuiti, which just means to create. So a genius is just somebody that creates. An artist, a musician, a builder, businessman. All you have to do to be a genius is to create something that doesn't exist, to bring something into existence. So I think once we kind of build a more common relationship with what it is to be a genius, I think that opens up a lot of possibilities to us, because right now the classic definition of what a genius is very restricted, and it's very like something that's for everybody else, and that maybe if you're lucky and you were born super smart, you might become a genius later in life. That really has nothing to do with it. It has to do with tenacity, it has to do with not giving up, it has to do with having passion for what you're studying. I have a slide here, I have a couple of slides here, and we're going to jump around from place to place because there's some interesting videos that I want to show you guys. So we're gonna go from there. Our first one, so what does genius mean to you guys? Does anybody have any opinions on it? Is there a genius that you guys like particularly? Is there somebody that you look at, music, culture, business? Who's that? Michael Jackson? Musical genius? Okay, that's cool. Anybody else? Fashion, music, sports? What was that? Alright, well, you know, it could really be anybody. She said Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson changed the world with his music. Still, if you go outside the United States, Michael Jackson is one of the few people that you can say his name basically in any country and they'll know exactly who he is and who you're talking about. So that's what I'm talking about with genius. You know, he didn't have a PhD or have, a long list of accomplishments and certifications. He created something and put it out into the world that people enjoy. And that's what a genius is. That's what Gen We is, to create. So I think once we build a little bit more of a common relationship with what genius is. Number 4, To see things in the seed, that is genius. Now, what do you think he means to see things in the seed? Does anybody have any idea? Go ahead.
It's like when something doesn't really have a form or like a clear like position of what it's already going to like what it's going to be, and you can already tell what it's going to be. You can tell what you want it to be.
Perfect, good job. Now, when you see things in the seed, that's seeing the potential. That's seeing where you can go with something. Steve Jobs, who we're going to see later, he started Apple Computers. He helped start Pixar. But when he started, he was in a garage with a friend of his, just putting things together, right? And he saw the bigger picture. He saw that computers can be used as a tool to educate people. And the first thing they did when they built their first Apples was starting to put them in schools, and saw that they could be used as a tool for education. So he saw things in the seed. And that's really important because not everything is always going to be laid out to you, and then importance and relevance isn't always apparent in your face. So, let's see, we'll do one more. Oh, number 5. Genius does what it must when talent only does what it can. So, it's really important that you guys realize that when somebody is considered genius, talent only got them so far. The music industry, sports, are riddled with people that had tons and tons of talent, amazing talent. But when it came down to it, they didn't have the tenacity or the will, the drive, the desire to act.